Hey everyone, I'm Chris Ryan, and thank you for joining us here today for Loud with Pride. This is the HRC Billy DeFrank Center and Silicon Valley's Pride first live comedy event. So several of you may have been here for our first in-person event at Sofa Market back in January. We've had to postpone previous scheduled events due to certain events that are happening in our climate. You'll be seeing a lot of me today. I am Chris Ryan, and since I'm going to be your host, I figure the best way to start off any show is by introducing yourself. So, hi, I'm Chris Ryan, and I live here in Silicon Valley, and this is going to be my first time back in comedy for a while. I'll be candid. This is my first show in a while because due to current events, it's been hard to laugh. It's hard to want to be funny and have a good time. And then I was thinking the other day, no, that's exactly why we need to have a comedy show. We need to have something to look forward to, something to enjoy. So I'm happy to be back here with all of you. So if you haven't gathered today by my hair, my demeanor, or my bow tie, I am of homosexual descent. I say homosexual descent because some scientists suggest that the gay gene comes from one generation up on your mother's side. And to kind of prove that point, my grandpa's name was Wolfie and did professional gymnastics. And so here I'm gay, but in Silicon Valley, it's actually just referred to as a back-end engineer. So I grew up in a very small farm town of about 500 people in northern Michigan. So I grew up with cows. Now I mostly just milk bears. I grew up plowing wheat. Now I mostly just plow bears. So it's been a journey. And I also want to give a little footnote here. This is the first time my parents have watched me perform stand-up since I started 7 years ago. So no pressure at all. And also, these stories are completely false. I have never had sex. I've never drank. I'm a good person, and I still go to church every day. Right. I have a few notes throughout the show today, and I'm going to be back later. But there's a few things to keep in mind. Typically, this is a brunch show. That means we strongly encourage you guys to drink. The more you drink, the funnier we are going to be. So if you're blackout like halfway through the show, please let us know in the chat on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube. I'll be following along on the chats to make sure you guys are fully intoxicated. Also, because this is a virtual show, that means that we're not in the audience with you guys. We can't rally off of what you say, what you laugh at, and what you do. It's hard to get vibes, you know? So please, in the chat, if you like a joke, let us know. Please. Or send us a or if I ain't shit and I'll never be shit, let me know in the comments. Mom, I am talking to you. All right. Also, as you'll know, throughout the show, our Venmos will be below. You'll see Venmos in a little ticker. Please keep in mind that all the comics that are here today are not getting compensated directly for their time, and that because of this pandemic, a lot of us have lost a major source of income. So if you feel generous and if you're enjoying yourself, please feel free to Venmo the comics throughout the show. I strongly encourage it. We have bills to pay too. You wouldn't expect a back-end engineer to do work for free. So why would you expect a comic to do work for free? If anyone feels obligated to test out the system and see if Venmo is working and the ticker is working, feel free to send me now. I have my phone on standby. Chris Ryan online. All right. I'll be back later in the show, but we're going to also bring up our presenters throughout. So like I said, our presenters are Billy DeFrank Center, the HRC of both Silicon Valley and San Francisco, and Silicon Valley Pride. So our first sponsor of the day is going to be the Billy DeFrank Center. So if we could welcome Gabrielle to the virtual stage.
Woo!
Woohoo!
This is going great.
Oh no!
Well, Gabrielle and I look very similar, so I guess I will do the plug for Billy DeFrank Center. Pardon our technical difficulties. We're off to a really good start. So Billy DeFrank Center is an LGBTQ resource center in... People talking over me.
Oh. Hi, everyone. I'm Gabrielle Antolovich with the LGBTQ plus community center. And even though we are closed, all of our discussion groups and our game night on Monday night, meditation Friday night are all online. And you can find that on our website, defrank.org, defrank.org. Don't forget it, defrank.org. That's our website. You can find everything you want online, including signing up for our newsletter. It's on the top right-hand corner of the website, and you can type in your email that will never be given to anybody else. We keep it secure on the website. So if you are dying to come back to the center and would like to volunteer, we have a volunteer form on the website. And if you want to donate, which has been fantastic, thank you, everyone. We have a donate button like everybody else. But anyway, we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Billy DeFrank, and don't forget, defrank.org, defrank.org. Thank you, everyone, and you are funny, Chris. Thanks.
Why, thank you, Gabrielle. I appreciate the kind words. We can all use it right now. Also, I don't think your background is quite gay enough for my taste. I didn't see enough flags, enough rainbows, so you need to work on that. Clearly, I am doing a great job myself. All right, it's time to bring up the first comic because I guess technically Gabrielle doesn't count. So our first comic today is going to be Melissa McGillicuddy. Melissa McGillicuddy is a stand-up comedian based in Sacramento, California. As a newcomer to the scene in 2015, she won the wild card competition at the Sacramento Comedy Festival. Since then, she has opened for talented comedians such as Cameron Esposito, Ray Butcher, Vicky Barbalock, and many more. Melissa also co-produces the Moving Van Show, a monthly secret pop-up comedy show, as well as Sacramento FemFest, the city's first all-female comedy festival. Most recently, she was voted Best Comedian by the Sacramento News and Review. All right, we're bringing up the first comedian, so that means it's time to bring out your tip dollars and take 2 shots at least. Everyone give it up for Melissa.
Hey.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah. Yoo-hoo.
Awesome. Welcome to my living room. I did the dishes for you guys, so you're welcome. This is great. Excited to be here. Thanks for having me. This microphone isn't real. It's not even plugged into anything. It's just a security blanket for me. This is fun doing virtual comedy shows, kind of a new thing for me. Just started getting into them. It's interesting though, when before the pandemic first started, I had come up with an idea for a comedy show, and it was called Call In Comedy. And basically, you would be in a comedy club, and a comedian would just call in on their phone and do their set that way. And my friends were like, "That's really stupid. That's just a phone call." But here we are, Call In Comedy. So I really missed out on an opportunity there. Is what I'm saying. I had a Facebook memory pop up the other day. About 1 year ago today, I was out camping. Sounds like someone's having open heart surgery. Anybody else hear that beating heart? No, just me? That might be mine. Yeah, so I had a Facebook memory pop up a year ago that I was camping. And I don't know about you guys, but I hate camping. And when I tell people that, they're really surprised. I guess I look like I know a lot about camping. I don't know. It's just a look, right? You gotta pick a look, and I picked this one, the Bronny the paper towel guy's son. So my friends were like, "Yeah, Melissa, let's go camping. It'll be great. Don't worry, there's a bathroom there." Which apparently they know me so well, right? My only criteria for going anywhere is that there be a bathroom. So we get to the camping site, right? It's like, spoiler alert, I have to go to the bathroom. So we go to this bathroom, right? Which is, it's not a bathroom, right? This was just a porta potty in a bigger room. Like, there wasn't even a light in this bitch, okay? So I pull out the flashlight on my phone, and a bunch of bugs just fly out of the toilet.
Oh.
Like that scene in The Mummy with all the locusts.
Oh.
Right? So I'm with you guys. I'm like, okay, I'm not using this bathroom. I used nature's toilet for that trip. And here's how I know there was a God. I didn't have to poop that weekend. So later that night, that first night, right, my friends tell me that we're in bear country, right? So we've got to put all of our food in the bear box at night. And I was like, bear box? That was my nickname in high school. And so later that night, we're in the tent, and I pull out some chapstick, and my friend says to me, "You can't have chapstick in here too. Like, it's not just food that has to go in the bear box. It's anything that's sweet, you know, and that might smell sweet to a bear." And so I was like, okay, great. So let's just follow that logic through, right? So what about the shampoo and conditioner that we use, like, in our hair today, and you know, like the fabric softener and the laundry detergent and these clothes? Like, doesn't that smell pretty sweet to a bear? Also, we're flesh and bone. Like, that's got to be smelling pretty fucking sweet to a bear, right? So we all slept in the bear box on that first night, right? Camping, can't wait to never do that again. What else has been going on with me? I've been getting the quarantine haircut. You guys on that train right now too? There's two things that you can't buy in the pandemic: webcams and hair clippers. So that's why it looks like I'm calling you guys from 1997, because I had to pull this webcam out of my garage because it's the only one that still exists. So the same though, I can't get hair clippers anywhere. But my girlfriend was like, "Oh, don't worry, I can cut your hair. I have hair clippers." And I was like, "Oh, cool. I didn't even know that you used to cut hair." So you know how you're making small talk with your hairstylist, right? When you're getting your hair cut. So I was like, "Oh, where did you cut hair before you cut hair here?" And that's when I found out that my girlfriend used to be a dog groomer. And I was borrowing her dog's clippers. So, I mean, it's a good look. It's a good look. Thanks, babe. Let's see what else is going on with me. There's a new lesbian at my work. Woo! Yeah, we're allowed to work now. And well, she's real butch. So I've been having a hard time figuring out, you know, how I'm supposed to act around her. You know, like, am I supposed to be more butch than her, or am I the femme one? You can see it, right? So sometimes when we're, you know, on our weekly Zoom calls, I'm like, "Hey, Carol, what's up?" and I flex. It's hard. You can't see. I got to redo this joke for Zoom. You got to flex. And other times I see her and I'm like, hey, Carol. And then I curtsy, right, ladies? That's how we do it. It's a very feminine quality. I saw a YouTube video on it. But when she first started, in the office, I wanted to make her feel welcome. So I was like, hey, listen, just so you know, I've already peed on everything here. During the day, I work for the government as an auditor.
Wow.
Thank you. Yes. I know that's usually, I heard someone crying. That's usually the response that I get. Sometimes, though, when people find out that I'm an auditor, they'll say, oh, that's so funny. You must get a lot of stand-up material from your day job. And I'm like, oh, so you don't know what an auditor is then? And that's actually the best auditor joke that there is. So you're welcome. My girlfriend and I are we're getting ready to move in together. Thank you. I'll let her know that you guys don't care. Yeah, we've been talking about it. We just decided that it's time. We just celebrated our second date. That was for a lesbian trope for all the lesbians out there, all three of us. Yeah, my girlfriend, she's a veterinarian now. She really she jumped from that dog groomer up to vet. So good for her. So when I first started dating her, I sort of had this role play fantasy thing in my head, that I would show up to her work with my cat, and I would be like, oh, my pussy's so sick. Can you fix it? But then I found out that she's not that kind of veterinarian. She's a pathologist. So she cuts open dead animals to learn how they died.
Oh.
Which is fine. It's fine. I mean, the role play still works. You just want to kind of change it up a little bit. It's more like, oh, my pussy's so dead. Bring it back to life. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave you all on dead pussies. That's been my time. I'm Melissa McGillicuddy. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Woo! All right, Melissa's Venmo is right down there. So if you want to spare $1, $2, $5, $20, $25, please do so. I also gave reminders in the chat rooms that y'all can do that. But yeah, give it up for Melissa one more time. Woo! It's really hard to come on here when you aren't in the audience and put your jokes out there. So I want to give a major props to all the comics today. Also, that is 2 comics in a row who have made jokes about bears. So I think that should be an ongoing trend throughout the show today. Hopefully comics, I'm giving you about 3.5 minutes of notice, but I expect at least 1 bear joke out of each of you for the rest of the show. I can't really expect you all to do pussy jokes because I'm not quite there yet myself, but I'm working on it. All right, our next comic up is someone I'm really excited to have because they are not based here in the Bay. That means they wouldn't normally be able to be on the show, but there are some benefits of us being in quarantine. We can have people from across the country on our show here today. So our next comic is Eddie Sue. Hailing from Taiwan, Eddie's comedy centers around the shock he experiences navigating gay culture in America. And it is so funny. After charming the pants off, not literally, of the audience at this year's Portland's Funniest competition, he has been making a name for himself as one of the hottest new talents in the scene. So everyone, give it up for Eddie Sue.
Hello, everybody. 11 o'clock. Whew. I'm still hangover from last night, aren't you? Too. Happy Pride, everybody. This is a Pride show, so happy Pride, everybody. My name's Eddie Sue. I live in Portland. Portland, it's a super white town, as you probably heard about. Super white town. It is so white that make me find myself a new hobby, which I like to go to the Asian grocery store here, watching white people get lost. Yeah, they are usually getting lost at the soy sauce section, and I just like to standing there and just be like, "That's the wrong one," but whatever. I do live in Portland. Portland is actually a very, you know, freaky town. It's like a 80s San Francisco. It's just very freaky town. Um, did you guys know what water sports means? Water sports?
Tubing.
Too okay. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I'm just gonna assume you guys are pretend that you don't know what water sports means. Uh, water sports means you enjoy it. Your sexual partner pee on you. That's called water sports, right? It's a sport that don't need talent. Everybody can do it, and you've been doing it every single day, so you are good at it. Uh, I didn't know what water sports means when I first moved to United States, Portland. This guy messaged me on Grinder, and he was like, "I'm into water sports. You done?" And I thought water sports means having sex on water bed. Just very bouncy, and then it burns all the calories and sounds super fun. So I just literally replied, "Sure." So I went to his place. There's no water bed there. It's just this guy. He laying down in his bathtub, naked, and he was like, "I'm all ready." And I was like, "For what?" And he was like, "You're supposed to pee on me." And I was like, "But then what do I get?" Like, I could have done the same thing in my own bathroom with no one in there. Why am I Ubering here?
Aw.
Yeah, but I still did it, because the Uber was $20, okay? And also, he's a white dude, It's like once per life chance time you can actually pee on a white dude. It's very intriguing. And then after 1 minute, he cleaned out himself. He was like, "So Eddie, what is your sex fantasy?" And I was like, "My sex fantasy is having sex with a pilot in a cockpit while we're flying on the sky." And he was like, "Ooh, sex on the high, that's classic." I was like, "No, I want to risk all the passengers' life." Just be like, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are bound into some turbulence." By me, haha. So I live in Portland. I also take a lot of bus. Do people take bus in Silicon Valley? Alright, whatever. Probably do, probably don't. Anyway, so I take a bus, and then I meet a lot of strange people on the bus. Um, there's this very guy. He look at me, and straight out just say "ni hao," which is a hello in Chinese. And I was like, I get it. I've been living. I get it because like whenever people see a face like this, they just assume we are all Chinese. Which I get it again because I've been living in America for 6 years now. I still cannot tell the difference between Jewish and any other white people. Just the same to me. Anyway, so I look up at it is this guy and straight out just say bonjour, and then he kept going. He's saying konnichiwa. I was like, all right, yeah.
No.
I just say hola, and he kept going. He said 안녕하세요, which is Korean. I was like, Guten Tag. And he kept going. He said, "Salty cow," which is Thai. I was like, "Fuck! I'm running out of white people language." So I just say, "What's up?" And he was like, "Where are you from?" And I say, "I'm from Taiwan." And he's like, "How do you say hello in your language?" And I told him it's Li He. He was like, "Oh, that sounds like a Chinese." And I was like, "You sound like racist." True story. I actually do speak Chinese Mandarin. Yes, I do speak Chinese Mandarin. Anybody? No? Yes? All right. Anyway, I'm just gonna tell you something about Chinese Mandarin that we don't have this term horny. Yeah, we don't. We say I hunger for sex.
Ah.
And then sometimes in Taiwan, we also say that I'm itching down there.
Oh no.
Yeah. So after I first moved to United States in San Francisco, I told my American roommate that I'm itching down there. And he was like, "You need to see a doctor." I was like, "Hold on. Is there a doctor for that?" Oh my god, American insurance is better than I thought. Sign me up. Just Obamacare, everybody. Orange Party. I'm originally from Taiwan. Last year around this time, June, July, Pride time, Taiwan passed same-sex marriage. Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. But the sex education in Taiwan is still very Louisiana, just kind of whatever. My friend found out I'm gay by watching my stand-up comedy tape. He was like, "Oh my god, Eddie, you are gay," and I was like, "Oh, thanks for finding out. Wanna fuck?" You are like, "No, no, 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 no. How? I'm just curious. How do you have anal sex? Because isn't digest system one-way streets?" And I was like, "Yeah, digest system is one-way street. That's why it's very exciting when you drive into the wrong way." And I go straight forever. I actually didn't tell my parents that I'm gay just because I'm not going to bang them. My parents are like, I still kind of want to know how they feel about LGBTQ, so I bring a super sassy gay friend to my family dinner one time, and my father was like, "Is he gay?" I just nod my head, and he was like, "Where did he put his dick?" And I was like, "You whispered really loud." I end up just send my father a gay porn. He was very shocked. Anyway, so moving on. When I first moved to the United States, I used to fuck so much dudes. So much dudes. So many rice queen. You guys know what rice queen means? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The white people, the white dudes who only fuck Asian dude. It's rice queen. The Asian dude who only fuck white dude. Potato queen. There's also the Asian dude who only fuck Asian dude. Sticky rice. Anyway, you guys being awesome. My name is Eddie Su. My Venmo is Eddie Su4. Let me tell you something about Venmo. Venmo is a child of PayPal and Facebook. So it's like they have all this status that you don't care. Why you care your friend sending their rent on time or not? I don't know. Anyway, so my name is being Eddie Su. You guys being awesome. Thank you guys so much. Have a good brunch. Bye.
Keep it going for Eddie. I also just want to say a big shout out for being able to incorporate water sports and anal on the Lord's Day. I think that's great. I mean, nothing wakes you up on a Sunday morning. And hearing a guy talking about how he pissed on another guy, great.
Yeah.
Our next comic we're going to bring in a comic in just a second, but we do have another sponsor message. So here is a video from the Human Rights Campaign.
We're all in this together. In the face of uncertain times, we know there is one constant. Nothing is more powerful than hope turned into action. Across the country, HRC volunteers and staff are all in. We're building community over coffee.
Welcome to our first virtual queer caffeine.
We're connecting people with their elected officials.
Hi, Daniel.
Hey.
We're registering young people to vote, contacting our neighbors to make sure they have a plan to make their voices heard. We're fighting for equality everywhere, from the State House to the White House. We're doing all of this without leaving home.
What is that? It's my new standing desk.
Together, we are building on the work HRC started 40 years ago. We are bigger and stronger than ever. And we're all in for 2020.
Ooh.
Welcome to my office.
Join us. We're all in. Are you?
And I just want to say I wholly support all the messages that the HRC has shown. As we push into the 2020 general election, please make sure you are checking your individual state to see when the register to vote deadline is. Several states, those deadlines are coming up really soon, so make sure you're able to register to vote and make important change in November. Also, just as a Venmo update, thank you, Marcus, for sending in a tip for today's performance. We strongly encourage you all to tip throughout the show today. So I really appreciate this, Marcus. Furthermore, Marcus, I really appreciate that one time you bought me a hot dog when I was incredibly wasted leaving Splash at like 2 in the morning. That was clutch. So thank you for saving my life on one of many Fridays that I have experienced at Splash. Speaking of Splash, I noticed that in the chat on Facebook, one of Silicon Valley's finest drag queens, Alpha Andromeda, is in the chat. So you're actually my favorite local queen. Don't tell the other queens. But good to see Silicon Valley royalty is attending us here today. All right, our next comic is Cynthia. So Cynthia in Public is a San Jose-based stand-up comic and producer whose work is personal, narrative, and at times introspective, and at most times ridiculous. Currently, Cynthia runs the Comedians in Commentary and Cynthia CCC, one of the original Bay Area Zoom shows. The show raises for local Bay Area Black Lives Matter organizations such as East Oakland Burrito Roll, sounds delicious, and that feed and provide health aid to vulnerable populations. Her current work focuses on empowering comedians to use their talents to discuss and speak about racial injustice. Everyone give a round of applause and a Venmo tip to Cynthia in Public.
Hey.
Hi, everyone. Thank you guys so much. It's good to see me because I can't see everyone. It's good to see me. I'm good. I really like the video the Human Rights campaign just showed. I do want to say the first word they said was hope, and I have that on my t-shirt right here. And I also have hope and a rainbow in the back. Hey. Just wanted to point it out. But yeah, my name is Cynthia 1G. My Starbucks name is Sophia. But usually in public, I go by just Cynthia because people tend to butcher and brutalize my last name the way that colonizers have butchered and brutalized my home country of Canada.
God.
Yeah.
Yay, slavery! Colonization! Genocide! Woo! Yeah. Yeah, where do I even want to start? This year's just been crazy, right? I used to think that last year was crazy. And I'll say that because I got out of, a 3.5 year relationship. I got into a car accident and I left a job all within the span of 2 weeks, you know. But even with all that, I still didn't feel like I needed to talk to a therapist until I started dating again. And that's just to say that dating sucks, right? I think we can all agree, just in general, and now even more, like dating sucks, balls, and tits, and dicks, and dimes, and nickels. Like, it just, I always kind of thought meeting in person was better, but nowadays that's not even an option because of the global pandemic. But now I've been Zoom dating, and it's even worse. Like 50% of my conversations are just like, "You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on. Can you just join audio at the bottom and then unmute yourself, and then just talk into your headphones. I mean, they're just okay. Yeah. You got it. You got it. And then now I feel like I know the answers to everything, right? Because the normal questions of like, what are you up to these days? What do you do for work? Do you go out a lot? Like, those were like, oh, I'm getting to know the person. Now I know the answer to everything. Like, what are you up to these days? Netflix. What do you do for work? I work at home. I work at Safeway. The only two options. Do you go out a lot? No. It's like this is the same answer to everything. And it's like dating sucks so much. I just want to stick to the part at the end. What that means is I miss the days of arranged marriages. I just want to meet the love of my life on my wedding day. Is what I want to do right now. It might be a good wedding day. I mean, if we can figure out the meeting situation, I won't mind. But like, I just want to skip to the end. But like the apocalypse, the shelter in place, it's been crazy for all of us. Like we've all had to adapt in new and different ways. To me, it's created a new normal, right? Waking up at 5 p.m. now, normal. Seeing a dude drive down the street, stop at the red light, take the left of the green, in reverse, normal. Not treating your yeast infection for 12 weeks, normal. Yeah. Yeah. But honestly, I'm sorry, I keep talking about 2020, but like you guys remember when we almost went into World War III with Iran, right? And then we had a global pandemic and we're all at home. And then white people discovered racism was a thing. And then it's just, I mean, my favorite hobby, I know Eddie talked about hobbies earlier. My favorite hobby used to be literally calling white people racist, now it just feels like a job. Like I just want to collect unemployment. I just want it to stop. But it's too much work. But in case you guys are all wondering, I am bisexual, which means that the only people that like me are straight couples on Tinder. Yeah. I'm pretty lucky though. I mean, I consider myself gender fluid, bisexual person. But I'm very straight passing, which to me is a blessing because even just being a Black woman in this country is hard enough. Like if you look at like the oppression Olympics, like Black people take the gold medal like every single time. Like if you look at the oppression Olympics, even within the alphabet community, like it would be like trans Black women every single time. Like literally at the end of the race, like the straight, sorry, not the straight, like the the gay white guy would still be on his last lap, and then like this trans black woman would be like on the podium collecting her first place gold medal and like gnawing on it like you know, like it's just they're the most they're the most oppressed group in America. I think what pains me is even in these talks of Black Lives Matter, we don't talk about their plight enough. You know, like they get killed at much higher rates. This trans women get killed than any other group. There's not enough attention, and even we see with Trump, he just keeps taking away more and more rights for them. Right. So I think I definitely just kind of wanted to highlight that, like, you know, watch out for our trans siblings. Like we need to take care of each other. And, you know, whatever money you guys Venmo me at Cynthia Public, hashtag at Cynthia Public, PayPal Cynthia Public at gmail.com. Whatever money you guys Venmo me, I'll be donating to the transgender variant and intersex project. So it just goes straight into the community. They do a lot of great things for mass incarceration, for our trans siblings. Because honestly, like we have to watch out for each other. You know, but we're all that you have. You know, coming out is hard enough, but coming out in a world that visibly sees you as a threat wherever you are is just even harder. You know, so that's all I wanted to say on that. But I have more things to say because. Yes. But yeah, I do want to point out my afro. I fluffed it just for you guys this morning. Yeah. I did not roll out of bed like this. But I made my bed and my afro for you guys. But yeah, I have an afro, so obviously that means I've been going to protests. Yay. And I honestly, the protest is the best place ever to be a Black person. And I'm going to say that because most of the people at protests are non-Black people, and the white guilt is very strong. Like, it's just, the force is strong. The white guilt is strong. Because normally on the streets, I'm like, you know, trying to walk by someone and I'm like, excuse me. But then at like a Black Lives Matter protest, it's like I say it once and people just move like I'm Moses parting the sea. And I'm like, okay, I could get used to this treatment, right? And you know, I go there, like I accidentally stepped on someone's shoes once. It was like I think it was some dude's like band, which is the white person version of Jay's. And then they apologized to me. They offered to put my shoes in dry cleaning. Like it'll come back on Monday. He's picking it up for me. He's such a nice guy. It's great. And if you're really hungry, go to a protest. Honestly, like they have so many snacks and waters and shit. Like you will get fed. And then at the end of it, you could always just go to Starbucks and just take a nap. Especially if you're Black. Like just bring a sleeping bag if you're Black. Like what are they gonna do? Like kick you? Like no. Like they fucked up too much. Like they can't kick you out. Like no, it'd be another march just for that. But yeah, I just want to say I am so happy to be here. Honestly, the last thing I just want to say, I'm gonna be a singer for a while and give you guys advice, but take care of yourself. Like we're in a fucking pandemic. We're in a global crisis. Like nothing is normal. Create a new normal for yourself. That makes sense. Take care of yourself and others around you. And be kind to yourself. You know, like sometimes you're like, I'm not gonna do my bed today. I didn't do that. But like I don't want to do my bed or dishes. It's fine. There's always the next day. Just know that your mental and as well as your physical health are very important. So just give yourself lots of love. Yeah, baby.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's it. Cynthia out.
Boom.
Woo!
And with a twirl. And scene. And Cynthia's Venmo is right there. So send it in. Yeah, thank you, Cynthia, for the stand-up / inspirational speech / political campaign. Yeah, we fully support all of that. And like we said, right after the HRC video, make sure to register to vote. Make sure to be putting in the groundwork in your local community, not just in the national front, to make a difference in your community. Also, I like the direct transition from water sports then to social commentary. All the bases here this Sunday, okay? So take 2 more shots. and we will get into our next comic. Again, Cynthia's Venmo is right there. All right, our next comic is Surani and Surani Wersikera. And Surani Wersikera is a Sri Lankan-born, San Diego-raised, San Francisco-based stand-up comedian. Lots of hyphens there, okay? Stand-up comedian, actor, and writer. She is known for her lighthearted, controversial banter, not controversial, banter to her ruthless, dark jabs that shed light on cultural dilemmas in a palatable, enticing way. She recently opened for Comedy Central's roast battle champion, Frank Costello. Everybody, give it up for Surani.
Woo! Thank you so much. I love this excuse to drink at 11 a.m. I haven't done an 11 a.m. show, but I love it. I feel like they're like, let's make it a pride thing, and then we can drink. I'm just gonna take a shot. You know, I haven't seen anybody else drinking, but fuck it. You know, you see these dark circles. I'm putting in work on the alcohol game.
Woo!
Oh, I'm gonna chase it with some coffee.
That makes it a cocktail.
What's up, guys? I haven't eaten anything. I'm gonna pass out halfway through this set. Yeah, I'm stoked to be here. I am bisexual. It took me a while to figure it out because every time I hooked up with a woman, I only did it when I was drunk. Next day, couldn't remember if I liked it. Or I did that for a year. I figured out I was an alcoholic before I was gay. Then I started going on sober dates and I got even more confused. I was like, am I into women or empathy? You know what I mean? Like, do I like boobs or feeling understood? And right now, you know, I am dating a woman and she's great. I did move in with her and then the pandemic, like shelter in place hit. Like right after, which is a lot like oh, that's actually acid. And you're like, how long is this going to last? Did I cut out for a second there? I felt like I just did.
Yeah.
I did? Okay. Well, you know what? We'll just move past that joke. That's fine. I'll say in the beginning, you know, we were having a lot of sex. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? It was nasty. There were juices flying, holes were caressed, you know, things went into places that maybe they shouldn't have gone and they went lost. You know what I mean? It was a lot. It was a lot. And then we discovered puzzles. And man, those hit different, okay? But one thing I do like, you know, my girl, she's very dirty, you know what I mean? She's really dirty. She's a little nasty, you know. Like really, like her pussy stinks. Okay, it smells like a mortuary. It smells like a mortuary in there, and it was weird because 1 week later, my vagina started to smell like her vagina. You know what I mean? Like we had like the same pH level or something going on, you know? And she legitimately smelled my vagina. Like she went in between my legs and smelled my vagina. And she's like, huh, that's my pussy smell, you know? And I smelled it too. And I was like, yeah, that is your pussy smell. We smell the same. And that's when we realized we both have yeast infections. Let me see. One of the first people, you know, I ever did hook up with, that was a woman. We met at a bar. We went back to my place, and right as we're about to go in, she's like, "Wait, I gotta let you know, I'm a cop." And I was like, and I'm a robber. You can take me down to the station, you know what I mean? Tie me up with some cuffs to the bed, you know? And she's like, oh no, I'm like an officer of the law. And I was like, oh, that's different. And in retrospect, like I should have known she was a cop, you know what I mean? Like she made me sit in the back seat of her car. I should have known, you know? But what pisses me off the most is like, you know, why tell me now? Why tell me after we've already left the bar? Because if I had known that before, I would have gone home with someone from the fire department, you know? Because you can't be racist to a fire, okay? Everybody loves a firefighter, right? You can't be racist to a fire. They're all red, okay? That was for 2 people, and I'm okay with that. One thing I've been thinking about with my girlfriend is we've been playing around with the idea of living in a van, you know? And one thing that I'm really stoked about is that me and my girlfriend, we've been cooking a lot at home, and she's Latina, I'm South Asian, so I got a lot of spices going on, she's got a lot of spices going on, and we have at this point, maybe like 4 to 5 cabinets worth of just spices, chilies, things like that. It's impressive. I'm pretty hyped on it. And we've been thinking about van life, and we've been playing around with it, but we're where do we put all these spices? You know what I mean? In a van, like that's taking up a lot of fucking space. And then we started looking up hashtag van life for storage ideas, and that's when we realized it's really just mostly white people because you only need like 1 drawer for salt. You know what I mean? You just need like maybe 1 more drawer for like Himalayan salt, maybe some sea salt. You're not working with 5 cabinets worth of spices. What I'm trying to say is van life needs to be inclusive. We gotta add storage. But we'll get there. I don't know. One thing that I've also been thinking about is when I first started dating my girlfriend, when we first started going on dates, for the first couple of dates, I wasn't sure if she was gay. I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but when I met her, I asked for her number, and he's straight passing, and I did not know for sure if she was gay. We went on our first date. I asked her, you know, to go and drink. Still didn't know if she was gay. You know what I mean? We met at another bar, had drinks, hung out. You know, we sit kind of close, but I still don't know if she's gay. You know, she could just be looking for friends. You know, you don't really know. And then at one point, I'm at her place. We're eating tacos. I'm at her place. We're watching TV. We're eating tacos. You know, I still don't know if he's gay. You know what I mean? I'm laying, you know, on her bed and wearing her shorts because I drank a little too much and I can't drive. I still don't know if she's gay. I'm in this bitch's bed. I'm in her bed and I still am not positive she's gay. I kiss her on the lips. She kisses back. I still don't know if she's gay. Okay. No, it's weird because I just feel like that is something I need to figure out is how do you signal to someone if you guys are both kind of straight passing that this is actually a date and we're not just friends hanging out? Because I feel like when dudes go on a date, they've already banged. Okay, it's established. You know what I mean? This is like round 2 with guys. I don't feel like I see that with girls as much. I don't know. Chris will tell me later. But I was telling her one day, we were just cuddling, and I was like, you know, who's the most beautiful girl in the world? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, I tell you every fucking day. How can you not know? You're the most beautiful fucking, you dumb bitch. How can you not know? I tell you every day. More than 2 times is a pattern, bitch. I was like, so who's the smartest girl in the world? And she was like, I don't know. And I'm like, you're done, bitch. Okay. I got a lot of anger. Can you tell we're having sex, but she's coming and I'm not? Okay. Let's see. There was a lot of, you know, stress around, you know, when the pandemic first took place, and people are like, what am I gonna, you know, clean my ass with, you know, because it's all going out in the stores, you know, and I don't have a bidet. I'm a paper gal myself, you know. If I'm peeing, I use wide ruled paper. Sorry, I use college ruled paper, and if I'm pooing, I do a wide ruled paper because that's a heavy load. Can you feel these jokes just progressively getting dumber? Okay, let's see. I came out to my mom recently, which was a little scary, but she was on board. She was accepting. She was not surprised. She was like, that's okay. That's okay, Sereni. That's something that I've noticed with a lot of millennials is they all have your gay. I think it has something to do with the ozone layer burning in the atmosphere. I think that there's something. I think it's made you gay, and I'm like, does this bitch think I'm like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I have like formed into this gay thing? Because if that's the reality, then we're all fucking gay. Because the ozone layer is burning. You're gay. The urban survivalist is gay. Lolita D is gay. Chris Ryan's gay. Jim Westburn is gay. Fucking Nicole Morano is gay. Okay, you know what I mean? StreamYard is gay. The duck associated with StreamYard is gay. Everybody's gay, But I was like, I guess this is a win. You know what I mean? StreamYard is gay. Associated. I think I just heard myself talk for a second.
It's the voices.
You did too? That was weird. Okay. But one thing that's been stressful is obviously coronavirus. It's my girlfriend is a little sick right now. I don't know if it's coronavirus, but we're just patiently waiting. It is weird. It's also weird to think that if I go near my parents, they could die. It's like it's a lot of power. Our power dynamic has shifted, okay? Because I'm just like, you keep talking to me like that, Mom, I'll fucking come home and give you a hug, okay? A kiss on the cheek near your mouth, okay? Okay. We're just jumping all around here. This is exciting. Oh my gosh, I realized that I'm a little over my time, aren't I? I'm gonna close out with just saying that I love my girlfriend. It was great. I love her a lot, and I remember we spent 2 weeks apart when she was visiting her family, and I realized I knew that she was the one when we were on FaceTime. She flashed me her titty, You know how it is, long distance. She flashed me a titty. And my dog Pavlovian brain just started salivating at the sight of her titty, and I was like, "I'm gonna marry this woman. I'm gonna marry this woman." All right. I think that's. I think her video has an echo. Oh God, I think my video has been an echo this whole time. This is weird. Can you all hear an echo?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, man. Maybe I should have used a microphone. Okay. You know what? Okay. Last thing I'll say. I'm so sorry. Last thing I'll say is my girlfriend and I were both switches, which means one of us is, dominant sometimes, one of us is submissive. But sometimes we're both feeling submissive. And when that happens, neither of us comes. We just sit there together naked, and I'm like, I'm not gonna slap your ass. She's like, I'm not gonna slap your ass. And then I was like, what if we slap each other's ass at the same time? Like a little kink centipede. And it just looks like a yin yang symbol of us. Just okay. That has been my time. Thank you so much. Venmo me if you like. Thank you.
Give it up for Sereni. We're Casera one more time. Her Venmo is below. Please donate. And Sereni, I completely agree with your theory that gay people fuck before they even go on a date. I think the first base is sex, and like second base is maybe like kissing. Third base is holding hands. And then a home run is when you change their name in your phone from like Jake Grinder to Jake and then their actual last name.
I love it.
And I'm just like you. I used to only sleep with women when I was drunk too. Actually, my last sexual encounter before quarantine was with a woman. So it was my birthday in March, and I went to a strip club. So the last sexual touch that I have had was fondling some boobs of a 30-year-old mom of two. So that was great. With the Garden of Eden in San Francisco. What a way to go out. Little did I know that I wouldn't be able to touch another human for 5 months. Great. We're doing well, is what I'm saying. All right, our next comic we have is Drea Mayers. Drea grew up in San Jose, but she actually started comedy in Sacramento. After a couple of years, she moved back to the Bay Area and has performed since all over the West Coast. You can catch her on an episode of J Train podcast on Spotify. Everybody, give it up for Drea.
Yay! What's up, everyone? How are we feeling? Good. So I am not a lesbian right now, but I think I might be on that 5-year power lesbian plan, yes. What that means is right now I'm just a program specialist and I randomly go down on women, but in 5 years I would be a CEO kind of lingus, you feel me? I'll manifest the Tesla and know the top 10 clit tricks you're doing. People are like, where do you want to be in 5 years? I'm like, I want to make 100K and know how to make your bitch squirt. If I do those two things in 5 years, I'm golden, you guys, golden. I am bisexual though. That's how I know sexuality is not a choice because I'm trying to stop taking dick and it ain't working. I'm still taking dick. If anybody has a 12-step program to stop taking dick, please let me know. I think I'm on like the 8th step. I'm on like the apologizing step, you guys. That's where I'm at. Yes. I've never had the coming out conversation with my parents just because like I don't talk to them about anything, like let alone sexuality, right? Someone has an echo, so if you could please mute your mic, that would be great. It's probably saying me still. Are we good now? Hey. Yeah, so I never had the coming out conversation with my parents because I don't really talk to them about stuff, so that would be weird. But one year my mom actually crocheted me a rainbow blanket for Christmas. And then after I opened it, she just sat in awkward silence. So I'm pretty sure she knows. You know what I mean? I don't know what you guys picture when I say rainbow blanket. Something real specific. It is a rectangle-shaped blanket with the colors of stripes just in rainbow pattern, like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. She crocheted me a day flag for Christmas, yes? I didn't know what I was supposed to do with it, and I didn't know coming out meant coming out of my Christmas present. You know what I mean? I was like, what am I supposed to do? Just hang this up and be like, thanks, Mom. But we were really poor growing up too, so she used to do this trick where she would go into our rooms and like find something we already owned and wrap it up so that we had more presents on Christmas. So I feel like she just did the same shit except for my coming out. She just went into my room and was like, I know this is in here. We're going to take this and wrap it up. You're going to open it up on Christmas.
If you could hold the mic a little closer or further from your mouth, that'd be great.
Is it too loud?
No, it's just staticky when you hold it against your lips.
Oh, okay. What about now?
Better.
This is great, you guys. I love performing the silence and not being able to see anybody but my own face. It's great. I feel like I'm masturbating just comedic-wise. It's just it's a little more shameful, I feel. But let's see what else. So I've been on lockdown for a while, dude. We've all been on lockdown, but I will say the first like 2 months of lockdown were so hard because I live alone. So for like the first 2 months of lockdown, I was all alone. I was going crazy. Like I had to start wearing men's deodorant. Just so it really smell like someone else was there. You know what I mean? And then when I went to bed at night, I'd be like, ooh, someone's holding me. You have to be careful though, because one time I forgot I was wearing it, and I got super stoned, and I started cooking, and I was like, oh shit! And I was like, oh, it's just my deodorant. I thought someone snuck up on me when I was cooking pilaf. You know what I mean? It was just my deodorant. I've had to retrain myself too to not live in fear during this lockdown since I am alone so much. Like for example, at the beginning of lockdown, one of my neighbors got drunk and he tried to break into my door at like 4 a.m. So I heard like random noises at my door, and I like ran into my bathroom and like cowered and got all scared. You know what I mean? But then like 2 months later into lockdown, I heard random noises at my door, and I was like, hell yeah, it's time to stab someone. So what else? This pandemic has taught me a lot. Number one, it's taught me that older people are not boring. You guys, they're not boring. Everybody says older people are boring. They're not boring. They've just been through a lot of trauma. They've just been through a lot of trauma, and they're trying to rest. You know what I mean? By the time I'm 50 years old, my nieces and nephews are going to be like, why doesn't Andrea want to play? And they're going to be like, because she's been through some shit, all right? Let her take a break in her goddamn life. I'm getting older, too. I'm on like an awkward stage. Like, I'm not quite a cougar. I'm like a young puma. I'm a young puma without dental insurance. So I'm a saber-toothed tiger. Ba-dum-bum. Oh shit. Fuck. Okay. That's the only thing that sucks about doing comedy online. Like in real life, I can hide these teeth with the mic, but online, there's no hiding these teeth on webcam. You know what I mean? Well, online, I look like a chubby meth head, you guys. That's what I look like doing comedy online. My teeth look like they get into street fights. If you want to know how old I am, I never tell people my exact age, though. I never say my exact age. If you want to know how old I am, you got to count the circles on my vagina like a tree. Yeah, some of them are harder to count because they're smaller and closer together. Those were the dry years. Those were the years of the droughts, everybody. I'm starting to see things differently too. Like I'm starting to be attracted to older men. Like I love when older men have like gray hair, but then they have like a super hot face. I'm just like, oh, it's like a well-aged bottle of whiskey. You know what I mean? You just want to take them down off the shelf, dust them off, and remind them what it's like to be swallowed. Yes. So I just moved out here. I was living in Sacramento for like 10 years, and then I moved back to San Francisco. And a crazy thing happened after I moved back, which was I actually fell and broke my leg in 3 places, you guys. 3 places. And how I did it is I fainted on Bart. Y'all know Bart? Yeah. I fainted on Bart, you guys. That's how it happened. I fucking fainted on Bart. And it was crazy because I had just moved back here. So it was crazy, like, going from being annoyed by the medical emergency on Bart to becoming the medical emergency on Bart. I was like, damn, it was a trip. It was like being backstage at a comedy show for the first time. I was like, that's what happens when this shit gets announced? Like, basically, they announced there's been a medical emergency. The BART driver came out. He took one look at me. He was like, oh, yeah, that's broken. And then they called the EMTs. The EMTs came. They loaded me up on a stretcher. They took me out through the escalator, up through the exit, and they still made me swipe my Clipper card on the way out, y'all. Can Can you believe that? Fucking cold world, you guys. Yes. All right. Well, this has been an amazing experience. Thank you so much. My name is Drea Myers. Bye.
Woo! Keep it going for Drea. And most importantly, tip her. Remember, all these comics are out of a major stream of our income. So as we do virtual shows, we would love to be compensated. And Drea, I'm just like you. Lately, I've been really into older men. That's not really a joke. I just figured this is a good time to advertise and potentially get more tips from that. So Chris Ryan Online on Venmo. Woo! All right, before we go into our last comic, we have a video from one of our sponsors, which is Silicon Valley Pride. All right. I'm so sorry that we've hit the point of the show where you have to listen to the one and only Chris Ryan Online. I'm so sorry. All right. So I moved here about a year ago here to Silicon Valley. I work in marketing and film. And when I was pursuing my jobs, my now boss asked me a question during my interview. He asked, "Who is your inspiration to get into this field?" And I responded, "Kim Kardashian." Who works in marketing and film. I'm being 100% serious. They might have thought I was joking, but no, I was keeping it 100. Okay. When you think about Kim, what are her discernible talents? She doesn't have any. But do you know how much money she made last year? She made $40 million. And do you know why she's originally famous? She's originally famous for having sex with Ray J. Now, I'm not saying I want to have sex with Ray J, but I will have sex with Ray J for $40 million. You know, I might need 1 or 9 butthole reconstructive surgeries. But do you know how many butthole reconstructive surgeries you can buy with $40 million? 747. I did the math. I have a business degree and I'm using it well. When I got this job, I was pretty proud. I made commercials for a tech company out here in the Bay. And it was probably my biggest accomplishment in life outside of sleeping with a member of every a cappella group at Michigan State University. You can read about it in my upcoming memoir, Freshman 15, and Other Guys I've Slept With. When I got the job, I joined a great group of people, a great team, and I'm really thankful for them welcoming me with open arms. When I got there, I got my computer, got my name badge, and a cute little gesture they did is they actually bought me a plant, a little succulent for my desk. I thought that was so cute. That was so nice of them. And but then I started to think about it, and I was like, I don't know if I feel like I'm responsible enough to take care of this plant or not. I don't know if I'm ready for this. So I did what any young person would do that maybe doesn't feel quite ready for that. I took it to Planned Parenthood. It's hard to tell for these kind of jokes the land, so bear with me. Sometimes abortion jokes are dead on arrival. But moving out here has been hard. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I am from a very small farm town in northern Michigan. And a lot of things here are very different than that town. So I've had to get comfortable with a new job, new friends, and also finding a new church. I practice Catholicism, and I finally landed on a church. I go to St. Thomas down in San Jose, kind of downtown San Jose. And I like this church. But one thing I've noticed is that I actually think one of my priests is gay. And this is cool. like that it's more progressive. It actually makes me feel more welcome. But the way that I figured this out is at the end of every one of his sermons, he ends, Amen. And then they said, when we do our Catholic treat, we do our communion, they say, the body of Christ. And I say, where did you get that? That's incredible. That one's for me. That one's more for me. Another thing I've also learned out here is that dating is much different in Silicon Valley than it is in Michigan. In Michigan, you can walk up to someone in the bar, ask if they want to drink, ask if they want to go on a date, something like that. Very simple. Out here in the Bay, you have to send them a Google Calendar invite 2 weeks in advance, book a conference room, and provide a Zoom dial-in just in case they're running late. It's a bit different out here, and it's something to get used to. Actually, I did that joke at the Christmas party, and someone did it. Someone actually sent me a Google Calendar invite to go on a date, so I guess it worked. But dating has been a journey out here. I've had a hard time on the apps, on the Grinders, on the Tinders, on the Coffee Meets Bagel. So my friends said that I should try dating organically. But how am I supposed to date organically? I can't even afford to shop at Whole Foods. But they say the best way to get a guy is through humor. And I'm like, okay, great. I have a heads up on that. I've been doing stand-up for a while. It's something I like to think I'm good at. So that's why I've exclusively been giving hand jobs with sock puppets. It depends on the type of person, really. Out here during quarantine, I'm sure everyone's binge watching a different show on Netflix or Hulu. And I've had a little bit more time to do so myself. I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and they're saying that they were binge watching 13 Reasons Why. I don't know if you've watched that show, but it's about like rape culture and suicide and really important conversations that need to be had. And my friend was saying, this show got me through a really dark time and taught me some things. And without missing a beat, my first thought that I said was, yeah, I felt the same way about Glee. And that's how I knew really how gay I was. Like I said earlier during the transitions, a lot of us comics are out of our major streams of income. We used to make good money doing these gigs for live audiences. And I work side jobs here and there to cover the bills. I used to babysit. I babysit for one of my coworkers' kids. And I was watching the movie Herbie Fully Loaded with a kid. And I don't know if anyone is familiar with the song Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne. Great song. Hey, hey, you. I don't like your girlfriend. Well, the kid asked, is this classic rock? How dare you ask me that? Is this Avril Lavigne classic rock? Of course it's classic rock. Are you kidding? For today's set, I thought it'd be good to try some new material. I've had a little bit more time to write, but it's, as any comic will tell you, it's not easy to write comedy. You can't just like sit down and write a new joke and hope it works. Sometimes it just comes to you during the most random times. So I've been so stressed about having to come up with new jokes that actually it came to me in a dream. I was writing jokes in my dream. And in my dream, the only thing I could come up with was that the word anemone sounds like the word enema, and I should make a joke off of that. And really the only result of that has been that it makes the movie Finding Nemo really hard to watch. I have been using my time. I like to think for good reasons while I'm on quarantine. I volunteer a lot for different queer organizations, and I've actually been volunteering at an animal shelter lately. I'm not really an animal person, I admit, so this is my way of easing into it. And I've noticed that a lot of the different things you say to the dogs are actually the same things that you're going to say during anal sex. I mean, good boy, roll over, why won't you eat it, did you poop, all common phrases during anal sex. I've also been spending some time doing astrology. I mean, out here on the dating apps, it's pretty common for everyone to be like, I am a Sagittarius, I'm a Taurus. So I've been trying to get more into it myself. So I've been reading on BuzzFeed these articles, and some of them are so crazy, bizarre, out of left field. I was reading one, and it was like, what sign is most likely to die during the Titanic? I'm like, that is really far-fetched. It was Leo's, if you were wondering. But, while I am a gay comic, sometimes it is, I just want to be referred to as a comic. I'm sure other comedians here can relate to that. You don't want to be just pigeonholed into certain typecasts as a comic. I think I am just like any other guy, any straight guy that is watching. There's no straight guys watching. But I think I'm just like any other straight guy. You know, I'm really into sports. I'm in a flag football league. I like to go hiking, could shoot guns, things like that. Sometimes I Google pictures of vaginas and wonder why they look like Arby's sandwiches. I think straight guys do that. I'm not 100% sure. Drea, I might have to consult with you on that one later. But I just want to say a big thank you for everyone who came out here today. I really miss in-person comedy, but one thing I do not miss about in-person comedy is the fact that the gigs are at the weirdest times. They'll be like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Sign up on the list and maybe you'll get on at like 1:47 to 3 people in the audience. I don't miss that. And the worst part about that is then walking home or getting home from the gig, sometimes in sketchy areas and things like that. So I've actually been approached leaving home or leaving the gig to go home. And it can get scary. So I came up with surefire techniques and comics. You're welcome to take this if you like. It's kept me safe. Is anytime someone approaches me, it's a little sketchy, I just say, I'm going to put my dick in your mouth. And this can go two ways. You know, you can either, A, they leave you alone, they think you're weird, or B, you get to put your dick in their mouth. So really, it's a win-win. But thank you all for coming out here today. It has been an enlightening experience to perform on Zoom rather than in person. And I hope you guys are able to find happiness in something like this. Like I was saying at the beginning of the show, I've been not performing for a while because I just thought this wasn't a priority. It was time to focus on other things. But it is important to remember your happiness as well. I think Cynthia touched on that today. So if you liked today's show, please donate to all the comics. If you'd like to donate to me, my Venmo is below, Chris Ryan Online. And make sure to like all the sponsors on Facebook so you know what's going on at these groups and so you can support all of them. So those are the Billy DeFrank Center, Silicon Valley Pride, and the Human Rights Campaign of San Francisco and of Silicon Valley. Saldi, if we could bring up all the comics one more time.
Oh, hi.
Everyone, these are your comics today. Make sure to follow them on social media and support them. All the comics are Really looking for your help. And thank you to our live audience and everyone who has loud laughs and or chickens in the background. I'm talking to a couple of you that had chickens that are making some noise. I'm Chris Ryan. You can find me at Chris Ryan Online on social media or at chrisryanonline.com and on Venmo at Chris Ryan Online. Thank you all for coming, and I hope to see you in the future. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.